So the first one we're going to work on is preset bindings, block bindings with variations. So in this recipe, we'll whip up a block variation that presets block bindings to streamline workflows and save you time. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to connect the block binding to a block variation. So that's super fun. So there is two ways that you can set this up. There is a repository available if you want to go and check that out. You can also use some create block templates that I've built. So every one of these recipes has a create block template. So I'm just going to grab that, jump over to my local environment here, wherever that is. I'm just going to paste it in. So you can see I've got npx create block, latest, preset block bindings. It's going to be the name of my block. Oh, you know what? I need to do this I think I need to do this in the plugins directory. Yes, I have to do this in the plugins directory. So I'm going to cd into plugins, into WP content, plugins. Then I'm going to run that. And what that's going to do is this is going to use this special template that I've created. So that's running. And we'll let that run. It's going to install something into plugins. You can see we've already got it here. We're going to start there. And the idea behind this is that each one of these templates has a starting point, completed point. So if something's gone wrong, you can scaffold a second plugin beside the one that you're working on with all the completed files, and you can go back and forth that way. Yeah, and you can also check out the repository, which is, you can find, I should probably add the instructions in each step, but you can find it on the homepage, or it's just right here. I'll drop this in. Boom. Boom. There you go. This is also the repository where I create new examples and all of this fun stuff. Cool. All right, let's close this. Let's close this. And we're going to see, let's see, how's our scaffold doing here? Okay, so we're ready to roll. All right, so let's see what we want, what we have. So the next step is, once the scaffold is completed, start the build process inside the newly created plugin. Make sure to activate the plugin. So we're going to cd into preset, and I'm going to say npm run start. Oops. Run start. So we're building that. Cool. And let's start the first step. Okay, first step is registering the custom data. This is a pretty quick recipe, but basically what we want to do is before we can create a block binding, we need to have a piece of post meta that we're going to connect to, that we're going to bind to. So that's all this chunk of code is doing here. So if we look at our preset, I'm just going to close this down. So you can see we have a couple of things going on in here. I'm just enqueuing some JavaScript. This is boilerplate that we start with. And so what we want to do is we're going to want to register some custom post meta. So I'll just plunk this in here, right? What is this? What is this? Oh, maybe I don't have PHP-CS in here. I'm not going to worry about that. It's probably going to yell at me, but I'm not going to worry about it. So all we're doing here is on the init hook, we're registering a piece of post meta. It's going to be registered to the post type. It's going to be called my custom met data. It's show and rest. This is the most important part because we need it to be show and rest in order to have the block editor be aware of it. Single is just meaning it's a single piece of post meta, not it won't return like an array of stuff. The type is going to be string, and then we're going to set an auth callback just to make sure that the user can actually edit posts when they can edit this stuff. And we're going to say a default value is this is a default value. So once we have that in place, we probably won't see anything here. So we've saved that. The build is still running. So let's come into posts. And we're going to create a new post. Oh, look at that. I already started one. Bindings. No. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. You know what I didn't do? I don't think I enabled the plugin. Let's go ahead and check that part. Plugins. Let's see. See? Didn't enable the plugin. All right, we'll go back to posts. We'll go here. We'll edit this. And yeah, we're gonna delete this because I think I got ahead of myself here. So so we have our post. Let's see what's the name of the block. So if you want to find out what the name of the block is, you can always just come into source block JSON, and I haven't done anything yet. So there's no block yet. All right, because step 2 is register the block variation. So what we want to do is we're going to add this chunk of code here. I'll drop it in, and it's going to register a block variation for the core paragraph block. This is text, so we're just going to want to display it as text, right? We're going to give the name of this variation is going to be show my data. The title's going to say show my data, and then we'll add a description, and then we're just going to give it a couple of scopes so we can have it be inserted and also transformed to a version of this from the paragraph block. So now if we refresh this again, should be able to find show my data is very high. Right? Let's put in here. Okay, so we've registered the variation, but it's not actually showing up as a variation yet. So let's add a couple of things, right? Okay, so we've registered a variation, but now it doesn't do anything different than a paragraph block, and it doesn't even show up in the block editor as anything but a paragraph block, even though we did insert that. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but we'll get there. So the next part is we want to add some attributes. So actually, let me demonstrate this. So if I wanted to do a block binding on paragraph, what I'd have to do is move my big stupid face, and then I'd have to come down to attributes. I'd have to grab content. I'd have to say that the content is going to use my custom data, right? So that's how you set up a block binding. It's very straightforward. The problem with this, in my estimation, in my opinion, is that this is very tedious. If you have a client that doesn't understand this, it can break some things, right? That's what we don't want to do. So the whole point of this recipe is to preset this so the client doesn't have to do this anymore, right? So that's what this is. So now if we were to save this block and you would come in here to the code editor, you can see that we've got this rather complicated attribute here: metadata.bindings.content.source, the source name or source name, and then args, and then key, and then my data. So we're going to preset all of this so the client doesn't have to worry about that anymore. So that's where this step comes from. So we're just going to basically grab that. Oops, sorry, I'm going to jump over here. We're going to add it to our attributes, which I think you can just add anywhere, right? So what we're doing here is we're predefining some attributes of metadata.binding.content, the source. So the source is core post meta. There's really only one source right now for bindings that comes with core. You can define custom block binding sources, but we're not there yet. And then the key of the meta that we're going to bind is my custom data, which matches the thing that we did up here, my custom data, right? So on and so forth. And so now what this is going to do, if I refresh this now, I'm going to just delete this. I'm not sure if this is going to actually show up the way I want it to show up yet. It might, but we'll see. So we'll say show my data. Let me grab that. So it didn't, okay. So it's still not working, and I know why it's not working, because Gutenberg, or the block editor, doesn't know which variation this is, or if it is a variation. So what we have to do is we have to add one more piece to it, and that's down here. We have to do this is active thing. So the is active thing is pretty slick. So what this allows us to do is this says, this is the active variation when whatever's in here matches the block. So for example, this could be like very simple in the sense of like just adding a class name, right? But what we want to do is check, does metadata.bindings.content.args.key match metadata.bindings.content.args.key in the instance of the block? And if that is the case, then this is the active variation. So we should see show my data and this display. So let's over here. We'll reload. I can't remember if I actually had something in there or not. Oh, I did. So you can see now it says show my data. So we can transform to different variations. I can insert a new one here and call it show my data. Oops. Show my data, and it will actually, this is a custom value from the block editor, right? And so this is all preset. And what's really cool about it now is, so this is the, oh, you know what? I must have changed the pose. Oh, I'm gonna move my face to the right. Okay. Yeah, so now what's really cool is now that we have these things connected, I can go show, what just happened there? Hold on, did I break something? So now I can edit this, right? And I can edit this directly. And if we want to see what's going on, and this is nothing to do with what I'm doing, this is everything to do with how block bindings work. So I'm just gonna load my, my thing so you can see that now it's actually allowing me to write this in real time. Now, if I make this change here, oh, it's not even actually allowing me to, maybe it doesn't do it when it's open, but this won't change. So that's why we want to turn this off. We don't want to see our custom fields because this is now like a two-way edit, which is great, which is so cool. So I can make these changes, and this will just write, this is new custom data. We'll save that. Right, and if I come back over here again, no, I'm re-showing this, you can see that that's written both ways, which is awesome, which is super cool. But yeah, so we're gonna hide this, and it will work on the front end. Which you can see here, you can see this is new custom data. We'll see the block binding, this is new custom data. And that's it. That is, where is it? That is the first recipe. Great success.